This is the misplaced pen caps experiment, okay? The misplaced pen caps. What you're going to need is just a pen with a lid that you can remove, okay? And any design should be fine. This is what I need you to do. You need to find someone else to do this experiment with, okay? So find someone else. Now I'm going to stand a bit sideways so I can talk to you about this one. Let's pretend the person we've asked is standing right there in front of me there, okay? So what you do is you hold it up in front of them and you say, okay, I'm going to hold this pen here, and with both eyes open, tell them to keep their eyes open, just so I want you to take the lid off. So they're going to take the lid off, okay? And then you say to them, right, both eyes open, just put it back on again. So both eyes open, they're going to put it back on again, okay? Then you say to them, take it off again, take it off again. You say this time, before you put it on, tell them to close one eye. Best thing to do, I normally do, is get them with the hand they're not using. I say cover your eye like that. I say with only one eye, ask them to replace the pen. But before you do, move it a bit to somewhere slightly different. So for example, if you start off there, when they remove it, when you say, right, I want you now to put it on, but just only use one eye, move it a little bit somewhere else. Okay, let's see what happens. Now, in case I didn't make that quite as clear, this is what happened when we found a very helpful member of the public called Miles. Okay, so this is the misplaced pen caps, and we've got Miles here who's very kindly volunteered to do this experiment with us to show us how it works. Okay, Miles, thanks for helping out on this one. What I'd like you to do, Miles, is you both eyes open, any hand you want, just remove the lid from that pen. Okay, so pretty easy. Could you now put it back again? Perfect. Now, I'm now going to ask you to take it away one more time. Just remove it again. And this time, cover one of your eyes, perhaps use your left hand to cover your left eye, and go to place the lid on again. Very good. Interesting that, isn't it? I wonder what happened there then. So, just to recap, bad joke, just to recap, you remember what Miles did? With both eyes open, he had no problem, straight on, absolutely perfectly, with both eyes open. But did you notice, you had to watch really carefully, I hope you saw it, and you probably did this or someone else anyway, when I asked Miles to cover one of his eyes, with just one eye open, he actually missed it first time. He was close, but he missed it. And then he actually came back and then got it second go. Did you notice? So what was going on there then? Well, think about it, 2 eyes. Have you ever wondered why you got 2 eyes? Well, you've got 2 eyes so you can see distances, the distance from you. It only works really well, distance sense, 2 or 3 meters. And it's to do with the gap between your eyes. So we have 2 eyes so we can tell distance, particularly for things close to us. So for Miles, when he had both eyes open, he found that really easy, both eyes, because your brain gets 2 very different pictures. That eye, if I lean across a bit to exaggerate, this eye is looking at you from sort of over here, and this eye is looking at you sort of from over there. Of course, the distance between is a bit less than that, but your brain sees 2 very slightly different angles. And then your brain sort of mixes them together, if you like, merges them together, and using that information, it can tell distance. Pretty smart. So when Miles had both eyes open, with both eyes, and he had very good eyesight, he managed no problem. He went straight on, first time, absolutely perfectly. That shows you how good 2 eyes are, actually. But the brilliant thing was, when Miles only had 1 eye, he missed, because now your brain's only got 1 bit of information coming in. That eye you were closed up, so just 1 bit of information. And your brain's not used to judging distances with just 1. It finds it much harder because now it hasn't got stereo vision or binocular vision. You can only do it with 1, and it finds that tough, particularly if it's not used to doing it. And Miles normally has both eyes open probably when he's doing stuff. So with only 1 eye open now, his brain thinks, oh wait, just a minute, I'm not so good at this now. And it tries really hard, and it's not bad. I mean, Miles done pretty well, but he still missed because 1 eye wasn't good enough for him. Now, did you notice that other bit about when I move the pen? Remember I told you to do that, move it. When Miles removed it, I said move it somewhere else when he puts it back. The reason for that is because your brain's very good at actually remembering positions from the movement of your hand. If I left it where it was, there's a good chance that Miles' brain would have remembered some of the motion of his hand itself. So even with his eyes shut, he probably could have got quite close. So by moving it to a different place, I tricked his brain, so his brain couldn't remember that motion. He had to do a totally different motion to get it to a different place. So he missed it because he only had one eye open, and you can't judge distances so well with just one eye. Okay, let's think of some variables. I'll give you a few ideas. Of course, the obvious one is, whoever you do this with, get them to cover the other eye. So try one eye, then the other eye, and see if that makes a difference. It'd be interesting to try and find someone, actually a bit like me actually, where one eye is actually much better than the other. For me personally, my left eye isn't as strong as my right eye. So if I did it with each eye, one after the other, would you think I'd do it exactly the same? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I wonder if that'd make a difference. What about if you change the distances? Because did you notice I did keep it roughly the same distance from Miles. I didn't sort of do it right up here and then move it to right out there. I did it roughly about the same distance. So how about doing what I just said? Put it right close to them first and ask them to do the whole thing again really close. And then for the second manoeuvre, when you ask them to put it on a second time, move right away from them. So when you say, right, two eyes open, put it on. Now take it off. One eye open, put it on. We'll see if they can see if that distance makes a difference. What about in different places? That way. I'll leave you to figure out a few more things.